Hey, come here. How you doing?
Fine. You a cop?
No. Why, are you?
No. You want a day?
How much?
How much you gotta spend?
It depends on what you do.
I have sex. I give head, half and half. And I do domination.
Is that all?
What do you mean, is that all? What the hell you want, a hand job?
I want to fuck you up the ass.
You can stick it up your own, asshole!
I would if I could. Bitch.
Nothing more disturbingly gross inside the head than a pure psycho with the wooden leg fucking a midget in the ass. Down with glue and glass. Got no time on our hands, so we sit around and browse that internet to find some sick bitch shitting out her intestines, dirty scrubs. Mixed with a pack of bitches bullets, sticking in from head to toe. Who's to blame? We all don't know. Stick these bitches and put them in our show. Got no time on our hands, so we sit around and browse that internet to find some sick bitch shitting out her intestines. Let one talk! Sacrifice is all on your screen. You don't know what you all seen. You don't know your mind's at a halt. But inside you know it's their fault. So if you need some virtual squeeze, if regular porn ain't fulfilling your needs, thirsty fucking bitches! 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 Sacrifices all on your screen. You don't know what you are seeing. You don't know your mind's at all. But inside you know it's their fault.
Alright, and it's recording. Alright, so this is my very, very, very first podcast, and I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I suppose I should start with introductions. I have Noah Sweeney here. Maybe introduce yourself, Noah.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Noah.
Noah hosts the Stoned Monkey podcast. He's had like a bunch of people on his show already. He's had Nick Bravo, who is an actor. He's had Weird Paul, who some would say he's like the first vlogger ever. He's been doing vlogs since the 80s. right, Noah?
Yeah, since like '84, I believe. Yeah, he's been doing that, and also he does music as well. He's been writing. He's got, I believe, like 28 albums. He's also, and he's been doing that since around '84. Been recording stuff, the vlogs and the music, and he currently even still puts out albums. He also has a documentary that was made about him that actually went to a few different film festivals and ended up going to the Leeds Film Festival in England. And to where he actually went over there and they premiered his documentary, and he actually did a performance over there. But yeah, he still plays, and he actually had a show just the other night, last weekend, with the Weird Paul rock band, which has been going on, I think he said, for the last 5 or 6 years. They've same lineup and all that. So, but then and then Lily Cade last night. So.
Yeah, how was that? I'm kind of mad I had to miss that. I was at work.
It went pretty good overall. I did a little bit of editing on it and put it up on YouTube. So, but nothing. I mean, no real editing. Just snipped out a couple of spots at the beginning and the end that were silent. But it went well, man. I mean, I had a good time. I think she had a good time too. So.
Yeah, I watched just like the basic from the radio blog site. I just watched from there, and yeah, wow, that was a pretty cool one.
Yeah, I was definitely stoked to that she which she agreed to do it right off the bat. She's was really cool about it. So I was definitely stoked that we had her on there, and like a lot of the people that come on, hopefully we'll be able to in the future have them back on and stuff. So.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And we also have a Wiggy in here who has a YouTube channel, and he does unboxings, right? Like you buy stuff and you unbox it and you review it. Am I correct?
Well, that's one thing I do on my channel. I do a variety of things. I also do vlogs and some comedy sketches, but for the most part, recently I've just been doing hangouts and helping Noah with the Stone Monkey podcast.
All right, and we also have James Hess in here. He does not have a YouTube channel, but he is a professional drag queen.
Yay! Hi, everybody.
Yeah, maybe tell us about yourself, Hess. Because I know you, we've been in Brett Keen's hangouts a lot. We've been in Vlograys' hangouts. But, for the people that don't know who you are, who are you?
I'm just a random. I come in and I troll. I like to do prank calls. That's probably what I'm going to get into when I start working on my YouTube channel. And I hang out online and I talk about stuff.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And as for me, I have like 2 YouTube channels right now. One is called Pitboy3088. It's childish, but I made the channel in 2008, and because I was like, well, whatever. There's YouTube. I'll make an account, and I didn't really care about the name at all. But then it was like in 2011. That was when I decided to do some like rants and whatnot. But now I mostly just do Let's Plays, and the new channel, which this will be uploaded to, called the Illusive Manatee. There is a funny name there's a funny story as to why it's called that. Well, just to make a very long story short, I was hanging out with a bunch of people and on Xbox Live, and we had a drunk American with us, and we all got into a discussion about what our ethnicities are, like what our backgrounds are. And everyone said, yeah, I'm white. We're all white here and stuff. I tune in and I say, I'm not white. I'm actually half white. I'm Métis, which is a hybrid between like a white person and a Native American. However, the drunk American that was with us misheard me, and he thought I said I was half white and half manatee. And he continuously trolled me, and eventually, I just got over it. But then one of my other friends came up with the idea that I should create a YouTube channel called the Illusive Manatee because I enjoy a game called Mass Effect. There's a character in the game called the Illusive Man, but then it was like, well, why don't you put manatee instead of man and make yourself elusive? I was like, well, that'll work. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll make this channel my podcast channel, and I'll upload podcasts like once a month. Once a month at the end of the month. And right now, today is September 30th. Are there 31 days in September?
No, there are no.
No.
Oh. Well, this is probably going to get uploaded on October 1st, so I'm kind of cheating here, but whatever, it's my first podcast.
So the Métis Indians, how would you spell that?
Metis. There's a little line on top of the E, because originally, it was supposed to be French, French settlers that married, Native Americans, and they had, children, and they were called Métis.
Our Métis.
That's
What
actually...
are we talking about now? Métis.
Yeah, but then, after a while, when more settlers came in, and when things started getting settled, and when the white people came and basically took over the land and stuff, it just soon became whites and Native Americans, and produced Métis children. So, I know, well, yeah, it is pretty cool. I can make fun of both white people and Native Americans.
Yeah, you can pull out the race card.
Yeah, on both sides, but yeah, I don't do it. I mean, I might joke about it like every once in a while, but I don't do it on a regular basis. Okay, well, I do have some topics for this. I suppose. Well, we already did our introductions and stuff. And is Sweeney here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, question: when I started joining Vlograys' Hangouts, you kind of just appeared out of nowhere. Like, where'd you come from?
Yeah, well, I had actually didn't even have a YouTube. I had YouTube accounts in the past, and I always get bored with YouTube and end up deleting my channels and then stay away from YouTube for a year or whatever. And then usually during that time I'll probably watch videos and stuff, but I don't spend too much time on there. And then I seen that they had created the Hangouts since Google had merged with YouTube. Things were starting to change. They'd already started to change the layouts. A lot of stuff was being changed for the worse, but I seen that they had these Google Hangouts, and so I just happened to have an account still, because once you create an account, I guess, I'm not even sure how you delete your Google account. So you can still go into the Hangouts even though you don't physically, it creates a YouTube channel for you, but you don't physically have one really unless you go in there and click all the shit. But anyway, I'd seen that they had the Google Hangouts, and so I know who Brett is, from the past, because I've been fucking with YouTube on and off since, the beginning of YouTube. And so I knew who he was and everything. And so at that time, mostly you never really got to have a conversation with most of the other YouTubers. It was always just, video responses or just, people getting into video wars and creating them back and forth. So I thought it'd be interesting to go in there and actually talk with him. And so that's how it was. I just already had an account, and I clicked on it, to go in there, and it was just by chance, really, that I came across it. And so that was how I started coming into the Hangouts, and that's where I met Ray. And like I said, it was pretty much random, really. I just came in there and just started going in there, and that was pretty much it. So
basically through Brett, that's where you met Blog then?
Yeah, that's where I met everybody that I talked to on YouTube now is through that Hangout, basically. Yeah, because he had him there for a while, for all the damn time. Because when I first came, which it hasn't been that long, a couple of months or so, when I came back to YouTube and everything, the hangouts that he was having at that time were a lot different. Everybody was coming in, and so I think it was new for him too. At the same time, he had been doing them, I think, a little bit, but they were pretty much open. So anybody came in, and I went in there for a while, and then just kind of got bored of the whole thing. I'm not one that likes to sit, and I don't have a problem, having intellectual conversations, but I'm not one to sit there and just beat my fucking brain to death, with all these questions. I mean, everybody's got questions, but who's got time to sit around and I could have an aneurysm over it. So yeah, I got kind of tired of it, and plus just tired of the I've kind of gotten tired of the hangouts in general, to be honest with you. But yeah, at that time it was all fresh and new, and that's how I met Ray. And if I wouldn't have went in there, I wouldn't have met Ray or Weggy or Hess or you or any of the other people. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. Like I was part of Brett's hangouts. I don't even remember how I got into Brett's hangouts. Oh wait, don't quote me on this. I'm just going by a very vague memory here. But one person posted a link to a hangout, and I was not aware about the whole Happy Cabby drama or anything like that. I had no idea what Happy Cabby actually was. And then someone posted a link saying, hey, we're going into, Brett's hangout and stuff. And at the time, I was thinking, oh, God, okay, well, maybe I can finally meet this Happy Cabby person. And because I was thinking Brett Keane was Happy Cabby at the time. Unfortunately, I was very wrong. So I went to the hangout, started talking to Brett, and at the time, Brett was, the most chillest guy in the world. I was like, all right, well, this guy is pretty cool and stuff. But then he started getting, these weirdos in his hangout, what was his name? Redneck, Christian Redneck or something like that.
Oh, God. Christian Hillbilly.
Christian Hillbilly, there we go. And I was like, wait, who's this guy? I mean, this guy is just, he's a redneck and he's a friggin', priest or something. Those two things should not exist, in my opinion. But, so he started bringing that guy in, and then he brought in Von Helton. And, well, I had a conversation with Von Helton. Me and him spoke, and I felt, this guy is pretty cool. I mean, he's been attacked by trolls. He's very bitter against haters, but it's you can't really blame the guy because, you can't really blame him considering all the shit he's gone through with, all the internet trolls. But then when he started going into his conspiracy theories and how there's, lizard people or people with lizard blood, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm just going to leave unannounced. I'm never coming back because I don't want to deal with this really, really senile old man. And sure enough, look what happens. Brett becomes a born-again Christian. Von Helton becomes crazier than ever, starts accusing Robert Frost of stuff, threatening to throw him into court, sue him, and all that. And it's just wow, I left at a very good time. And then I started hanging out with Vlograys. I've been subscribed to him for a while. The first time I ever met first video I ever saw Vlograys in was a video done by Nate Talks to You. It was a reaction video to, what was it? To My Little Pony porn. And I was like, alright, well, this guy's pretty cool. I'll check his channel out. And I subscribed to him. He started doing some hangouts. I joined in. And that's where I met Noah. And I was like, okay, well, all these people are awesome. Noah's cool. He has a good voice for radio. And, yeah, that's where I met everyone. Oh, yeah, I met James Hess through Brett Keane, and me and Hess sort of just left together.
Yeah. Oh, Brett Keane's hangouts. Good days. The good old days.
Good old days when he was actually cool, but then he just turned into an asshole, then a born-again Christian.
Yeah. And we were watching Jones R99's videos. If you haven't seen him, Pit Boy, you gotta watch him.
Oh, I'll check them out.
Yeah, they're pretty funny. He actually sounds, the guy sounds actually a lot like him. It's pretty funny, actually. I'd never seen him before.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to our topic one, and that is autism. Well, when you guys hear the word autism, what do you all think?
Disorder.
Yeah, brain or development disorder.
Oh, God.
First word that comes into your head, Hess. I mean, I'm not going to judge anyone.
No, I don't have a single word, and I don't like that everybody thinks of it as a disorder. To me, it's not a disorder.
Well,
If it is, it's so, it's just kind of like a different personality.
Well,
very different.
Well, but doesn't it have to do with like neural development? So, I mean, if you have like a problem with that, it would be some sort of disorder. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing saying that,
Well,
Disorder isn't necessarily negative.
Yeah, there's like, there's, what was it? There's, I don't even know what what kind of disorders exist. Oh shit. Well, I just sound stupid right now. What kind of disorders are there again?
Oh god.
Physical or mental?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah, OCD.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'm
trying to remember what disorders there are disorder.
Well, I don't really find OCD being like a terrible thing because, there's people out there that just want everything to be perfect or aligned or something. It all has to look the same, and I think I kind of have a bit of OCD, but...
Yeah, I'm OCD, man. I mean,
it doesn't change you in any form of way.
No.
Disorder.
Yeah, there you go.
ADD, like my brother has ADHD, and he's not a terrible person. It's not like he has to be chained to a bed or anything.
Oh my god.
No, he doesn't have to. Don't.
Yeah, well, when I was growing up, they didn't have all of these medications that they gave children and stuff. When I was a kid, they just, they had counselors and stuff, and kids had problems and everything. But the first thing wasn't to, give them a pill and stuff. Back then, they allowed a lot more kids to be kids, and kids change because of different factors, environmental and social factors, and things have changed, and and I think that's just the reason why kids are different now than they were, 30 years ago or more, is because, the world's different, and, they're growing up in a different environment. And so, of course, they're going to develop, differently than they did years ago. So I think a lot of them are disorders and stuff, but I think a lot of them are misdiagnosed. I think that's a huge problem that we have, at least in the United States, is that, we suck at diagnosing, people's shit. So
Yeah, like they see a kid daydreaming and they think he's ADD.
Yeah, give him a pill and
he'll just calm right down, and it's like, oh my god, like
yeah, we've got a lifelong customer now. So
yep. But no, like there's different levels of autism. Like there's Asperger's syndrome. That's the only one I know of because I have it. I had to go through like 8 years of therapy for it. And it wasn't like, horrible therapy like, you see in the movies or books or something. It was like, speech therapy, how to, deal with social interactions and stuff. Because if you have Asperger's syndrome, you don't develop social skills properly. You're physically clumsy. You put a great amount of detail into anything you do. Like if I'm drawing a picture of a tower, I put detail into it. If someone wants to describe to me what this book is, I go into greater amounts of detail about the book, whereas, someone would just say, the book is about these 3 words, whereas I'll go, like, hours upon end about what this book is about. So yeah, and, I don't know if any of you know what this is, but, apparently people with Asperger's lack empathy. Do you all know what empathy is?
Yeah.
Um,
I feel you.
And yeah, like at first, when I first learned about it, it was kind of like, well, it actually, like, a lot of things just made sense to me. I mean, like, well, for those of you that don't know what empathy is, it's where you can't put yourself in another person's shoes. Like, if some person has their dog die, you will not, like, a person with Asperger's probably wouldn't be able to know what that feels like.
But would they be able to know what that feels like if they went through that before themselves personally? You know what I'm saying? Would that be, would they still feel that way, if they had been through those emotions?
Yeah, if they went through the same thing, only to have someone else go through it. Well, I don't know about other people.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I don't know about other people, but from me personally, this is a horrible experience of mine. I had my cat, who I've had since I was born. Like, this was like, the family cat. It died when I was on vacation. I was in Mexico, and I got a phone call from my dad saying, by the way, the cat died. And I was just, like, torn apart. I was just sad. I was in tears. But then, when my friend informed me that his cat died, I just said, that sucks. Like, I didn't feel sad or anything. I just said, that sucks, man. That sucks.
Yeah, and I would say that most people in general, and I'm not saying that, to say that you don't have Asperger's or anything, but I'm saying that I think that people in general, though, today are so desensitized and so, I don't know how to put it, just, I don't know, in their, easiest way to put it is in their own world, but they're just in this, this bubble. And so a lot of things, that happen to other people, I don't feel as deeply about, you know what I'm saying? I think, and I'm not, you probably, feel that way, to a much more stronger degree than, most people. But I do think that overall, that a lot of things don't fucking bother people anymore. You know what I'm saying? That, 50 years ago or whatever, that bothered people. Nowadays, it's really not a big deal. I mean, if you look about 50 years ago, they were freaking the fuck out about Elvis, fucking swaying his hips and shit on TV. Well, they knew what the world was going to be like, 50 years later. Elvis's hips was the least of our fucking concerns. So I think that everybody in general, and I think that social and environmental factors breed certain disorders that, if not create them, that they definitely contribute to them, people having them. Because I don't remember people being, I grew up, early was a young kid in the 70s, and I don't remember people talking about the things that they do now. And for, kids were bad. You had, kids that acted up and shit. I did, but they didn't, put a label on it. You were a bad kid, either bad influences or you didn't, a lack of, your upbringing. You didn't have parents there, single family homes, yada, 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 this and that. There's so many different factors. So, the world's just changed. And I think that, that we're going to continue to see these types of disorders, whether it be Asperger's or autism or this or that, increase, and maybe even, shit that we haven't seen before. But I don't know about, do they give you medication for Asperger's?
Nope.
No,
it was because, well, I don't even know if there
sucks.
is. I don't even know if there is
just
medication. I don't even know if there is medication.
Xanax or something. I'd be like, I need some Xanax. I'm stressing out here.
I believe it was suggested that I was to be given pills, but they wanted to try something else.
Yeah.
And they wanted to try speech therapy. And so I went through like 8 years of speech therapy, social therapy, and all that. And I really, really wish I took it seriously back in the day. As it all started in like grade 1 and went on until about grade 8. Because like in elementary school, I would be taken away from class in order to get some therapy and stuff. This was all going on inside the school as well. It was like 15 minutes or half an hour. But they always took me away on classes I wanted to do, such as gym class. And, elementary school gym class was just us throwing balls around or just like playing a game in gym. And me being young and stuff, I was really mad that they would take me away from these like fun activities and they would sit me down and read me cards and tell me to read this for them. Like, I didn't want to do that at all. I wanted to go to the gym, play with some balls, play some dodgeball, not sit upstairs and read boring old cards. But then as the years went by, they soon just started asking me, like, all right, when do you want to actually start doing this? I told them, I don't want to take French class. French class is boring. I'm never going to need French in my life. So they said, all right, we'll start taking you during French class. And that's why I'm not French.
I don't think it's gosh. It just doesn't seem like as serious. I think that we're in our earliest stages of beginning to classify people who are on the autism spectrum, and it's a really mild attempt to classify someone in order to treat them. It doesn't seem like we know enough about what autism is.
Well, yeah, and if there's medications involved with it, then it's definitely beneficial for the medical industry, pharmaceutical companies, doctors, whatever. They like to, because I don't know about you guys, but when I watch TV and I see fucking 50 million pharmaceutical different pills and shit commercials constantly. I didn't see that shit 30 years ago either. It's like they've got a pill for everything now. They're advertising it. You would think that you wouldn't need to advertise medicine. You would get sick and you'd go to the doctor and they'd say, hey, this is what's wrong. This is what you need. To myself personally, I think it's fucking crazy to see advertisements, saying, because they're so generalized, a lot of the ones for like depression and stuff like that, they'll come on and they'll be like, hey, do you feel, tired? And, they're generalized, fucking symptoms, they'll go over this wide amount. And, some people may be sitting at home and say, yeah, I kind of do feel that fucking way. Maybe I need that pill. So I think it's just strange to see pharmaceutical companies advertise, telling you what you need, or to check in with your doctor and ask them about this or that. It just seems weird to me, and maybe it's just me, but
I feel the same way, especially because I see those commercials, and especially for testosterone. I'm saying to myself, okay, well, if I was 50 years old and if I didn't want to get up and maybe go to my doctor or something, like, what commercial is that? I don't remember. I don't think any of you would remember what this commercial is, but there was a commercial. It was for Viagra.
Yeah.
And the commercial starred a guy named Bob, and he was always smiling no matter what happened to him. And Enzyte. Oh, it was the Enzyte commercial. Do any of you guys remember that one?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, you could call in and order some in for yourself, and I thought to myself, well, if I was 50 years old and I didn't want to get up and go to my doctor and explain to him that, doctor, I can't get an erection. I need some pills, man. If I could just order it in and just have it sent to me privately, that's one thing. But now seeing hundreds of testosterone commercials, in fact, commercials for other things, and having to hear this giant long list of side effects. Like, it's like, are you kidding me? Like, you're advertising this shit, but it's possibly going to kill me?
Well, instead of advertising, the the medications to treat these fucking things, why not advertise how to avoid ever having, because, a majority of a lot of these health issues can be avoided, when I went to school, I don't know what the school system's like now. I know it's fucking fucked up as far as, education goes, but I don't know as far as everything else. But when I was in school, you'd think that the basic things that they would fucking teach people, that they would, and they don't, man. I mean, crazy as it is, kids should be taught, a little better, what to eat and shit. Everything comes down to price. What's the cheapest? Everything is outsourced. Those schools have contracts with different companies, and whoever can, provide the food for the cheapest amount, they do. I mean, I don't know. At least when I went to school, the food was, all processed fucking food, man.
Yeah, like when I was in high school, this is the thing that bothered me about teachers. I hated, every time I heard this, I just hated the teacher even more. Every time the teacher would come to me, every time the teacher would go and do his lecture, and he would begin his lecture with, by the way, I don't care if none of you pass my class. I still get paid, and I still have a job. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. Like, does that make me feel any better to be in your class? No, that just makes me want to, punch you in the face. Because you don't give a shit about me, and it's your job to make sure that I learn something. But you don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, well, and there is blame on both sides of it. You've got the teachers on one hand that some of them are just fucking giving up and don't give a shit. For one, some places they make a decent amount, and then some places, they don't. I mean, I know they make enough in most places. I mean, you could live all right, I mean, you're not going to fucking drive a $100,000 car or anything, but then you have also, on the other hand, the education system that's kind of given up on the teachers as well, So, they've given up on the teachers, and so in turn the teachers have given up on, actually doing their jobs. The teachers that go and do these jobs because they loved it, or because they love it and have a passion for it, which I did see those teachers when I, years and years and years ago. They're few and far between now. Most of them just show up as a job, punch in, punch out. So
yeah, it was the teacher that said that to me was like my grade 10 math teacher, and he was a football coach, not a high school football coach, but he was a football coach to my province's football team. So he was like this big shot at my school. Everyone loved him, blah 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 and all that. But it's like, no. When he started teaching me math, I was like, no, this guy is not cool. Like, telling me that he doesn't care if I pass the class. I just wanted to tell the guy to fuck right off, but I couldn't. He'd probably kick my ass if I did that.
Have you heard of something called Teach for America? I probably, only Noah may have heard of this, or Hess.
I'm not American. I'm Canadian.
Right. So I said maybe one of those two have heard of it.
I'm American.
I know. Well, Teach for America is part of what's problem with our education problem, and that's because Teach for America is a program that will pay back student loans in exchange for 2 years of teaching in low economic, low test scoring, troubled schools. But they only do a kind of a summer course on teaching. They're not really certified teachers. They didn't go to college to become a teacher. And in some of these poor districts in some states, it's really troubling to think that those are the ones teaching students in high school. And in addition to that, a lot of states' funding in education is really poor. For instance, in the state of North Carolina, all teachers received a 1 cent raise this year.
1 cent.
1 cent.
That is garbage.
They also will not allow teacher unions in this state. Well, they technically will allow them, but they try desperately not to hire those in the teacher union. They don't get paid well. The southern states of America pay very poorly in their education, and for instance, North Carolina is currently 47th out of the 50 states in education system, only ahead of, I think, Alabama and Mississippi, and one other state. I don't recall the list off the top of my head. But it's just insulting to me to think that a state gave all of their teachers a penny extra for being a teacher.
Wow, and I thought my jobs union was terrible, but holy crap, that's that's terrible.
Yep, education is a problem in America.
Alright, well, we are hitting about 52 minutes. Do we all just want to take a break for a moment?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I can play some more FPG for the people, and when that song is over with, we'll come back. Hess, you're fine with that?
I go with the flow, easy going.
Yeah, you're a follower.
I should have been that in the I'm a follower.
Yes, you're a follower.
I'm a follower.
Whoa, and apparently Sweeney's ahead of us. He's going to grab his tea. The hipster.
I'm gonna play a little song here of my own while you're playing yours, and we'll convene in a moment.
Alright, we'll see you all in a moment.
Yep, see you on the other side.
You can bring me to my knees.
All right, we're back. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that song. It was called "Coolin" by FPG. So yeah, back to the whole, like, we kind of got off track with the whole autism talk as we went from autism all the way to the education system somehow. So, oh, where was I gonna go with that? Shit. There was, like, I suppose when I found out I was autistic, I think I was in the 8th grade. And at first, when the doctor first told me that, when she gave me my piece of paper saying, what my diagnosis was, I kind of just looked at it and was like, oh, okay, I don't really care. I just walked it off. But then, like, a few months later, like, when I got into high school, that was when I just broke right down. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm autistic. Like, everything just sort of made sense as to why I did things. Like, laugh at the kid that fell down the stairs. I laughed my ass off. And all these various other things. It sort of just hit me, and I sort of just, went into this, I want to say depression, but I don't know if it was a depression, because I just kept saying to myself, well, I could have done this better if I knew if I was autistic. I could have done this better. I wouldn't have done that. I could have done this, blah, 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 all of that. And I was just, living in regret. And basically around grade 11 and 12, that was sort of when I just stopped caring anymore. I just got over it. I was like, all right, well, there's nothing I can really do about my past interactions. Maybe I can make it better if people knew I was autistic. But then I sort of thought to myself, but if I tell people I am, I don't want people to think that, I'm just telling them that to feel sorry for me. Because I knew one kid who, like, lied about him dying to get that kind of attention, only to reveal to everyone that he was not really dying. He was just doing it for the attention. So I didn't want to look like, the guy that's seeking attention because, I am autistic and stuff. So I didn't really tell anyone. But for the people that I did tell, they just were puzzled. They were just like, oh, I had no idea you're autistic. That's news to us. And I was like, well, and my response to them was, I had 8 years of therapy, so yeah, I'm about as normal as it can get. And then I started reading up on, like, stereotypes that are associated with autistic people. And, I also started watching YouTube videos, and people would call other people autistic, and I sort of just questioned, like, where do these stereotypes for autistic people come from? Like, they're associating Sonic the Hedgehog with autistic people. They believe that, oh, kids that play Sonic are autistic. Kids that play Minecraft are autistic. And it's like, well, where did this come from? Do you guys know where any of these stereotypes came from?
Rain Man.
What?
And Rain Man was not actually even autistic?
I didn't say Rayman, I said Sonic.
I'm saying this is where a lot of it came from, is Rain Man. Movies. Depictions of autistic people or highly specific people or savants.
It still doesn't make any sense to me, like, where any stereotype comes from. Like, how, people can stereotype black people with fried chicken and watermelon and grape drink and all that. I mean,
like fried chicken, I can attest. And so do white people in the South. It's a Southern thing.
I don't know, like, fried chicken is amazing. I just don't understand where the stereotype comes from. Like how is that a stereotype?
I actually don't like fried chicken.
Well, I have a question, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, Corey, but it says that other aspects of autism um, are atypical eating. What the hell is atypical eating?
Are you saying eating or eating?
Eating, Eating, as in consuming food.
I've never.
Atypical. Let's look and see, because I'm not sure, man. It just kind of struck me as odd.
Yeah, like eating only foods of a certain color.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is it just the foods of? That's what I'm looking right now. Is it just foods of a certain fucking color, or is it
Autistic people get a fixation on something, and they will keep if they find something they like, they have to keep it that way. They're not very good with change.
Yeah, see, I'm not at all either. Let me see here. Okay, you want me to read this?
Yeah, sure, you can read it.
It says atypical eating disorders or eating disorders not otherwise specified is a diagnostic term used when many but not all the criteria are met for the diagnosis of anorexia nervosa or bulimia nervosa. For example, maybe a person meets all but the weight criteria for anorexia nervosa or does not engage in binge eating but purges after eating small to normal amounts of food. So I guess that's atypical eating disorders, though. But that one was saying atypical eating. And that's what I don't understand. What the fuck is atypical eating?
I want to say it's just how it sounds, atypical. It just sounds like, I just like one specific kind of food. Like, that's what it kind of sounds like.
There's no real definition for just actual atypical eating. It's all atypical eating disorders.
Wow, did you look that up on Wikipedia?
I'm just typed in Google search in general atypical eating, and everything that comes up is atypical eating, but disorder falls right behind it. So, yeah, I was just curious what atypical eating was just in general.
Well, I am.
There we go. Here, I just found it. Well, it said atypical eating definition.
Oh. Okay, well, if you...
But it doesn't, but then when I clicked on it, it didn't actually come up with the deal. So let me see. I mean, if anybody else, can explain it to me, I would.
Well, I was looking up the definition of
just like to know what.
Hess, I'm just giving you a heads up here. No one can actually see what the messages on the bottom say because I'm just recording the audio. That's all I'm recording.
That's terribly depressing.
I know. You wanted to show yourself and everything, but you have to hide your inner beauty.
I actually put a blanket on my head and wearing it like a turban. It looks
that's just racist. That's just racist, man.
No, it's like a gay turban.
A gay what? That's like
it's blue.
I've seen people wearing blue turbans before. I've seen that, and they actually look really good with it.
So, Hess, see if you can find out what the fuck atypical eating, not disorder, but just atypical eating. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the disorder.
Do you have autism? Why are you fixating on this?
Well, I've never heard of the term atypical eating, so I'm just...
And I've never known...
I guess you could say that I'm zeroing on this one thing. If somebody could just, enlighten me and and just, explain it to me like a third grader, then...
Well, we've got Yahoo Answers. They'll definitely clear it up for you.
Yeah,
all right. I looked and I couldn't find it, so that's why I'm wondering. Maybe somebody else will have a little more. I can find atypical eating disorders, but I can't just find the definition of atypical eating.
I mean, I am a picky eater when it comes to certain things. I don't eat fish. Like, okay, this is going to sound really stupid.
Yeah, but I don't either. I'm the same. I can eat like Long John Silver's fish, but any other fish, I don't like fishy shit, so.
No, it was like, no, this is going to sound stupid, but I cannot eat fish that has been imported here, but I can eat fish if it's fresh out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, everybody's fucking weird, you know what I mean? We all got weird fucking things about us, you know,
Do you have a foot
That
fetish,
that make
Noah?
us who we are, you know.
That's why I'm saying that I think that we're approaching autism diagnoses from the wrong direction. I think to assume that it's a disorder and go from there is a totally wrong way to start.
Well, and I'm curious how they actually diagnose it. You know, I'm not, you know, saying anything that, you know, that disorder does not exist. I'm not saying it's not, you know, doesn't deserve attention or anything like that. But I'm just kind of curious how they diagnose it. You know, I mean, is it,
Well, I can answer that actually,
yeah,
because I can tell you.
is
how
it
they,
by just by talking to you, or is there an actual test that they can do that physically there's some sort of something in your system or in your body or your blood that or even a neurological test that they're able to do, like a CAT scan or something on your brain, that they can actually, you know, see some sort of irregular activity or something?
Well, the diagnosis came from a psychologist. This didn't come from, like, you know, a medical doctor.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have to run, like, you know, like a blood test. Or
Yeah,
like
it's a head.
They didn't have to, like, do any form of like technological treatment or anything with, like, you know, a CAT scan or anything. I just sat there with the psychologist. She wanted me to explain to her what I do in my free time. I spent maybe an hour straight explaining to her everything I do in my free time. And and basically she would then ask me, you know, okay, well, what's this? What's that? Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, why do you do this? And I would spend, you know, like a long ass time explaining to her what all this stuff is. And then she would take that information and information that I did in the past, which my mother told her, and she was able to come with a diagnosis that I have Asperger's syndrome. And she basically said it was a good thing that I had the speech therapy way back, because I had this diagnosis done when I was in grade 8. So it was a good thing I had the speech therapy from grade 1 to grade 6, because in grade 7 and grade 8, they then put me through sessions of social interactions and stuff. Like, they would teach me how to actually socialize properly. And that has helped me very much. Because if I didn't have any of those classes, if I didn't have any speech therapy whatsoever, I would be mispronouncing words. I would probably not even be talking to you right now, because I would be just really shy to do anything. And I wouldn't even have my job, because I'm a supervisor at the grocery store I work with, and I have to socialize with people, because I have to either calm them down or just, like, you know, try to or do refunds for them. Like, I have to be a very social person where I work. So basically, that is how they were able to figure out that's how they got my diagnosis and stuff.
Gotcha.
And there may be other ways how they diagnose it, like how they diagnose people, but if they want to do a diagnosis without any like medical field equipment, they just want to diagnose you by talking to you. That's one way. They do have CAT scans of the brain, because autistic people's brains they develop differently than others. I've seen a CAT scan of an autistic brain, and it looks, I don't want to say it looks too different, but it does have some differences from a normal brain.
Well, they showed Temple Grandin's brain on 60 Minutes, and whatever they were scanning lit up, and she had a lot more light going on in her brain. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and that's what I saw too. It was like lights in the brain. It had more lights on, like it had more shades of blue than shades of gray.
It just shows like how much more is going on in her brain.
Yeah. And well, that's actually, pretty much it for my my story of autism and stuff. I mean, it was a bumpy road. It had ups and downs and all that, but as of now, I just look at it and say, okay, I have autism. I don't care. I function as a normal human being. I am shy when it comes to people, but it's normal.
It's good that they've improved now on it, and I say that they're coming at it from the wrong direction, but not the completely wrong direction. 60 years ago, they might have given you a lobotomy, whereas now they'll have you read cards, and interview you, and give you speech therapy. So we're coming along.
Yeah, if they gave me a lobotomy, I would just scream. I honestly would have just, I don't know what I would have done. I just would have knocked them all out and just, left. I would have just hid in the forest and just live off the wildlife.
Yeah.
Well, it says on here that unusual eating behavior occurs in about 3/4 of children, to the extent that it was formerly a diagnostic indicator. It says selectivity is the most common problem, although eating rituals and food refusal also occur. This does not appear to result in malnutrition, although some children with autism also have gastrointestinal, GI symptoms. There's a lack of published rigorous data to support the theory that autistic children have more or different GI symptoms than usual. Studies report conflicting results, and the relationship between GI problems and ASD is unclear. But see, that's so general. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty general.
Yeah, it's like, selectivity. Well, yeah, some people are fucking picky. I grew up in a poor family, and so you weren't fucking picky. Being picky meant you didn't eat. So, I mean, as humans, let's say I had that disorder, I would hope that my human instincts would kick in and, I'd fucking eat it, because...
That's all there was.
Yeah, you either eat, you're either, full or you're hungry. It's like, take your pick. It's not like they were hideous food. It's just, how some kids are like, hey, I'm not going to eat, like vegetables,
Yeah, I was sort of like that too. I mean,
and we grew our, well, because, and I don't know, maybe that's just how some people are just, they don't like it. I don't know why some people like some things and others don't. You know what I mean?
I do. I mean,
well, as far as food goes,
As far as food, I mean, when I was younger, there's times where just looking at mayonnaise, I just wouldn't eat it just because it looked disgusting.
Yeah.
But now look at me now. I'm just eating it. I'm not eating it out of the jar. I'm just.
Well, yeah. It's not disgusting.
It's not disgusting.
Sour cream was the same way for me. I don't, just fucking love sour cream, but I wouldn't even touch it, dude. If sour cream was on something, I'd have to say, I can't eat this. I mean, it was to that point. And then it was on something one time and I ate it and I didn't realize it. And I was like, this isn't that bad, So I don't mind it now, but
it was also
why people, what I'm saying, I don't know why, like some food, some people love it, and then other people, it's just, it's a personal preference, I don't know where they come from, but.
I'll first of all question, because I don't know if all you know what this would be, but do any of you guys know what pizza pop is?
Pizza pop?
That would be ice
When
cream.
you say pop, do you mean soda?
No, not soda pop. Pillsbury pizza pops.
Yeah, that's probably like pizza pockets or something.
Oh my god.
Where they're like little bitty pastry deals with pizza, like pepperoni and fucking, pizza sauce, like barely any in there.
Imagine a pizza, but it's folded in half and closed in.
Oh, a calzone.
It's not a calzone.
It's this little faggoty thing.
Shut up.
Just they
Shut
make
up,
a pizza
Hess.
and they just fold it in half for you, or what?
Alright, I have to Google this then. I mean, I got pissed off at Hess for not knowing what KD was, so I'm not going to get pissed off at you.
Well, I'm not Canadian, so...
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck a pizza pop is.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Well, okay, so I've got a funny.
Anywho, no, before you go with your funny, I have to, I'm just going to tell this story anyways. One day when I was, like, eating a pizza pop, there was this frozen little chunk in it. And when that thing hit my tongue, I was saying I was like 7. My brain told me I was eating a bit of brain, as it felt like a brain. It tasted horrible. I just couldn't eat it anymore. And then now, I'm eating pizza pops, left and right now, because, well, it's college food, that's what it is. But no, what's your funny, Hess?
I looked it up in there. Vladimir Putin.
At least you know what. At least you know.
I had to look
Putin
it
is.
up. But yeah, I've known what poutine is now for maybe about a month.
Yeah, and you can make it too, and it's delicious.
It's, I'm always willing to try new things. I don't know if it's quite my thing.
All it is cheese curds, gravy, and French fries.
And see, all of that together sounds kind of gross.
What?
I mean, it sounds kind of gross, but I'd love to try it.
It's the best thing in the world.
Well, that's because you have Asperger's.
No. No, because I'm Canadian, that's why.
Oh, Canadian with Asperger's.
Alright, well, that is, I guess, the end of the autism topic. I guess we can move on to topic 2. So, the little police spiel with Nick Bravo. I don't know, because, what happened? I don't know if we should really talk about this. Noah, do you think we should really talk about this?
The audio's on YouTube. Somebody ripped it before I privated it, so it's on there. It was just basically that somebody called, and I was actually broadcasting on Blog Talk Radio. It was just me, actually. I was just doing it just to use it, and we were just checking it out because I just signed up for it, and so I was just fucking with it and using it. And long story short, he had called in, and the police showed up while we were talking. So they recorded for 10 or 12 minutes or something like that. It's the recording of the police trying to get inside or asking him to let him in, and he's not letting them in, and all that stuff. But it'll probably be, I'm going to talk to him, and it'll probably be back up. I've got it. I just haven't put it up, and it's really not that big of a deal. But I'll probably put it up.
Well,
so I just kind of waited for a while, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, somebody else has just the audio up. I'm sure they've got the whole thing, but they just posted the audio, just to poke fun at him and shit. But there's actually it's like an hour and something long, conversation with him, including, the police thing. And then also Ray shows up right afterwards. So, I mean, it's a decent little show. I mean, it's, it's interesting to listen to. Not really any topics. It was, basically.
He just came in, and you were talking about how, all that shit happened. And, well, when you first watched his video of him explaining that he's done with YouTube, Like, how did you feel?
Yeah.
Like, how did you feel about that? Like, did you feel that, oh, Nick Bravo is faking this, or is he really going to do himself in? Like, oh, yeah, how did you feel?
No, I didn't really. I've seen Nick make videos over the years, dude. So I didn't think nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's gonna do something like that, normally they don't make a fucking video. So, so I didn't really. I didn't put as much stock into it, I guess, as other people did. But and again, if they would have known that he was in there talking to me, they probably wouldn't have called the fucking police. But
Yeah, wasn't it Cabby that filmed them?
Yeah, well, I don't think he was actually the one that physically did it. He had somebody else do it, I think. So, because you have to be within the county for them. You can't just call another state and say, hey, Joe Blow is going to kill himself, because you could just fuck with people, and you'd be in a different state. So
I'm pretty sure Brett Keane did that when Mr. Repsion made his video saying he was going to kill himself, and Brett Keane actually phoned the police, and the police actually showed up at Repsion's house.
Well, yeah, and where he lives, they may do it differently, but I know, I guess, in L.A. County or wherever it's at, that's just secondhand information, but that's, from my understanding, that's what happened. He might have tried to, but they said, unless you're in the area and you physically, live in this area, we don't, just take, calls. You have to be somebody in the immediate area that, knows him and that, feels that he's in danger of hurting himself, or somebody else. But like I said, I've seen other videos in the past, and so I wouldn't have called, personally, but.
Yeah, well, like, in my personal opinion, it would have been like, since that I don't know, like, Nick Bravo as well as others do, like, I had no idea he was an actor. I had no idea he had this long history of trolls who tormented him and everything. I had no idea that, he was, he's like a constant liar and all that. Like, I had no idea any of that stuff was happening. I felt concerned about him because during the times that we've talked, it was like, oh, well, I just said to myself, all right, well, Nick Bravo's a pretty chill guy. He has a few trolls on his back. He does have a compulsion to lie every now and then, but you know what? He's all right by my books because he's never done anything against me personally. And after watching that video, even though I'm not in America or I don't know him that well, I still felt a level of concern. But
I was concerned for him, but not for like him doing something like that. Because if you know what type of personality, and even Nick will tell you himself that he's too selfish, he's not going to do anything. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to do something like that. If he was going to do something like that, man, if you know his past, he would have done it a long fucking time ago. So I was concerned for him for feeling bad and shit, because I know he's been down on the dumps, about other shit, that's not related to YouTube, but that's just, it was stupid to make it. I don't know what his exact, intentions were, what he expected to, what reactions he expected to get out of it, but
I don't know, maybe for people just to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But, he admitted it was fucking, for whatever reasons he made the video, he admitted that it was, a bad choice. And of course he tried to, make light of it more than probably he should have. But yeah, I never was, worried to the point that I thought that he was going to do something. Like I said, I was sitting there talking to him. So of course, I shortly afterwards, I'm talking to him for an hour or so. But, as I seen the video, immediately I didn't text or, email him or send him a message on his, Twitter or whatever and say, yo, dude, don't do it, So I didn't think like that. But I know how, I can understand how some people would, though, So I totally understand why they called the police. Like I said, if they would have known that he was talking to somebody else, and had been for an hour, and that everything was, fine, and they'd discussed, the video and all that, then, things would have been different. But Tim had tried to call him, and he was talking to me, and you know, he texted him back and said, you know, I'm live talking to Noah, and so he didn't, you know, call him back, and so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was all just a fuck. It's God, YouTube, dude. I swear, man.
So is he actually done with YouTube now? He's not going.
No, he's back. He made a video today. He's still on YouTube.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So yeah, like, did the police actually go into his house? Did they?
Yeah, he had to leave. They took him. If he wasn't coming out, they were gonna fucking come in because, you know, they took him in, dude. Kind of like, you know, 5150'd him. They didn't hold him for 48 hours or whatever. I don't know if his standard's like 24 or 48 hours or something for a psych evaluation, but they brought him in and they released him the next morning. So he didn't stay that long. He said they confiscated his shotguns and his crossbow and stuff. So
it could have been worse.
Yeah. He's not, you know what I'm saying? He's, like I said, it was fucking stupid to make that video, and hopefully in the future, you know.
Yeah, maybe I'll think about it and stuff.
Yeah, because it ain't gonna bring you anything good. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, like, I hate to say it, but this is my actual opinion about people that do want to commit suicide. I just say to those people, you know, you're just being a pussy then. If you want to, like, do yourself in, like, you know, like, no matter what, matter what happens to you. I mean, if it's like, you know, like, let's
when
say,
you have deep mental illness and stuff, some of the people that commit suicide, like, people with schizophrenia and stuff, man, they're just so fucking tormented in their head that they can't escape it. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of those people do, because they're, you know, if you heard voices and shit, and you always, you know, you're disconnected from reality. There's no telling what those people, you know, go through mentally. It's like your mind is fucking is your enemy, you know. It's not even yours. So
I know, I meant it more towards like the people that are like, you know, like, let's say, oh well, like, I just crashed my car.
I would recommend watching a video, and it's on YouTube. It's a documentary. Before you make, you know, I would watch a couple of these about suicide, because I really didn't have an opinion on suicide. I know people that had died before from, you know, like cancer and at young ages and stuff, and you know, car accidents, but I never really knew anybody personally that committed suicide, and so I didn't have a personal, you know, perspective on it. But anyway, there's a documentary, and you can find it on YouTube, and it's about it's in California, I want to say, or New York. I want to say it's California. But anyway, if you type in bridge jumping or something, so you'll find a documentary. And there's a bridge that, and it chronicles, you know, different people's lives. But this bridge, there's so many suicides on it that you could sit there in a year, and if you just put a camera up, you'll catch, like, I think there's like 32 that year from that bridge or something, which is, you know, a phenomenal amount of people, dude. 32 people committing suicide from one specific location. But it chronicles, you know, these people's different lives and what they're going through, and, you know, they'll get put on medication and shit, and the medications won't work, because a lot of times when they're prescribing medications to people that have mental illness, schizophrenia in general, it's all just guesswork. You know, does this pill work? You know, and then if it does work, it may cause, you know, this side effect or that side effect. But it's a good documentary to watch, dude. It's brutal. This one dude, and this is real shit, he goes out there and like, you know, the bridges usually have like walkways on the side, you know, other than, you know, the actual traffic. These are big, you know, huge fucking bridges over huge bodies of water. And this guy, you have to climb over the safety rail, right? And then they have like the pylon piers that sit down below. And this dude climbed down. And it shows, you know, they save some people, too, from doing it, too. They are able to talk back. But this dude stands on it, dude, and turns around and does like a swan dive to their death. And it's just brutal, dude. I mean, I hate to say that, you know, I hear people say that a lot. And they're entitled to their own opinion, but I hate to say that people that end their lives, you know, say anything bad about them, because God, you have to really be dealing with some fucked up shit to take it from, you know, feeling really bad and maybe having, you know, those thoughts, you know, that may come into to your mind that are like, you know, well, you know, what would it may be it may be better if I'm just, you know, I wake up, I don't have to wake up tomorrow, but, I would assume that it'd be pretty fucking bad because, you know, I've had some pretty bad times in my life and you know, I might have been pretty down in the dumps, but rich or poor, I still want to live, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's you have to take it on an individual basis and, you know, really look at what drove them. Now, there's some people try to do it just, they don't really want to die, but they may end up dying, you know what I'm saying? Like people that cut their wrists and stuff like that. There's some people that do it because it's a cry for help, you know, maybe, but.
Yeah, I'm basically just like, you know, generalizing that. That's why I don't give that opinion ever.
Yeah.
I'm generalizing like everybody, but I'm talking about, this is coming from like, you know, high school experiences and stuff. Like, you know, I've had, you know, people say they're going to kill themselves because, you know, oh, my boyfriend dumped me. Or, you know, my teacher's such a douchebag. Or I have all this social life shit to deal with and stuff.
Yeah.
And
well,
they
you
say,
know, yeah.
And they say they're going to do themselves in, but I look at them and I'm saying, you know what? You're in high school. You, like, this is just, you know,
It's
top layer.
trivial.
It's trivial. You're not
but
going
to them though, at that point in their life, high school to them, you know, or that relationship is the equivalent to like if you're an adult and living on your own and you lose your job and you can't pay for your mortgage and your wife, you know, leaves you. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, at that point in people's lives, because, you know, you'll get older and you'll look back at some stuff that you just, you know, you thought was the worst fucking thing ever. And even you can do that now and look back 5 or, you know, 10 years ago and how you looked at things is totally different, you know, because we're always evolving just from, you know, different experiences that we have in life continue to shape us. And even me at my age, you know, I'm continually, you know, evolving in my views and the way that I feel about things. And so at that point in their lives, it's the fucking worst thing ever. You know, it sounds silly and ridiculous, but to them it is, you know. I remember feeling like that when I was a kid. Not that I'm going to kill myself, but I remember feeling, you know, in a relationship, you know, a girl breaks up with you or fucks your buddy or whatever the case may be, you know, being just devastated, you know. So I understand it. It is fucking stupid and silly, and, you know, it should never get to the point to where, you know, they want to kill themselves. But yeah, when Bobby breaks up with fucking Jane, yeah, Jane fucking loses her mind. So
all I can say to those people is, you know, there's plenty of fish in the sea. You'll find another guy.
Yeah,
Clearly, that guy who broke up with you was not the guy. You just have to keep on looking. That's what I tell everyone that's despaired about that.
And again, that comes into play too with people are different depending on what sort of, you know, you can get deeper and deeper into it, but depending on what sort of background that one person may have, they may have, you know, had this fucked up life, so they may have they may take things differently. Like when somebody breaks up with them, you know, one person may say, fuck it. Like you said, there's more fish in the sea, you know, I'm not going to stress over it. You know, it sucks, but, you know, you move on. While the other person may, you know, do like that one chick and put a diaper on and drive across the country and to try to kill him. So, I mean, you know, it's just, you never know, dude. It's just, you know, crazy as shit, dude. People, it's an individual basis, man.
Yeah.
Everything affects everybody differently, you know.
Oh, yeah. You know, James Hess actually had, I was talking to him before the podcast about Nick Bravo's thing and stuff, like how Nick Bravo got arrested and stuff. What's your opinion about this whole suicide thing and whatnot with Nick Bravo, Hess?
Well, it's obviously fake, and he revealed that in a video the next day. He drinks a lot, and he puts forth his most pitiful emotions to garner sympathy, and he's done it lots of times.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh goodness, you know, I've been and you know, I've tried to do some research on him, and I've gone and I've watched a lot of videos about him. that actually came from his channel, and especially with the money thing, I've been where he is, and I know that I behaved similarly. Because I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I felt like very loose, like I didn't really belong anywhere. And I think, yeah, I feel bad for him, but I don't feel bad for him when he wants you to feel bad for him, because that's just, he just wants some attention. And I feel terrible speaking this way about, someone who's like 40 years old, but my God, and he's like drunk all the time. And it's just like very obvious when you have problems, you don't need to drink.
Well, now here's a question for you, Hess. If would you drink all the time? Like, would you, like, if you had your own place and all you had to do is just sit around and enjoy life, would you drink? Would you drink wine?
Well, when his $100,000 runs out, he's not going to be able to live that lifestyle. So, no, I would have invested that money in infrastructure and keeping, some kind of solidarity where I wouldn't fall through. Because I think coming up here pretty soon, he's going to come into a miserable situation. And I don't even want to see that kind of meltdown. Because that's real. That's not just the stuff for attention. That's like,
It's
I don't
real
know.
talk.
Yeah. But I mean, I drink a lot, but I don't usually behave. If I start to be a douchebag or just be too pathetic, then I'll stop and I'll recover and I'll come back to it in a couple or however long. Whenever I drink as a celebration, and you should only ever drink as a celebration. He seems to have a dependency.
Waggy, what's your opinion? Is he here?
Oh, Waggy! He must have had
when they come and call on him, he's nowhere to be found.
Well, y'all did kind of talk there for a long time.
Yeah, we did. Wait, is Vlograys in here?
Vlograys! He's in the comments.
Should we get him in here or something?
Well, I mean, he would have to join the call. Join call. Ray.
Actually, no, how about this? Let's just take that second break, and then we'll enjoy Ray's company here. So I'm going to leave it off with another FPG song. I hope everyone enjoys that.
Love her number 3 says I get a booty cause she's at a loss. But I don't earn money, addicted to the piercing of her skin, addicted to heroin. Everyone looks out on her like she's a fucking mess. No one knows how much her dirty looks cause her stress. If she could change, you know she definitely could. Oh, if she could change, you know she definitely would. She may have opened her own doors, but what if her father opened hers? The judge, if you assume you know, sometimes you walk the way the ship blows. Everyone looks out on her like she's a fucking mess. No one knows how much the dirty looks cause her stress. If she could change, you know she definitely could. Oh, if she could change, you know she definitely would.
On, we'll say, public TV, a non-paid, because you can just plug a TV into an antenna and get reception. to your local stations, should those TVs, should those channels have, pornographic material available on them?
Well, they wouldn't get away with it. They can't.
But but the question that he asked you was, should there be any censorship? And I said, well, there, on public forum, and you were like, no, there shouldn't, and that's a public forum.
Well, it's up to the network. If the network wants to show it, but I mean, you can't now, obviously. But if the network wanted to, and as long as there was a warning, I don't give a shit.
See,
What's so extreme about naked bodies copulating? Why, parents can keep their kids away from it, but why does it have to be restricted material? Especially for adults. Why can't we see a few nipples on television?
You can.
Why can't we see a vagina? What's wrong with a vagina?
You can. You can subscribe to Playboy Network.
We're just on regular television, and I'm looking at the difference here with America and Britain. Britain, where their standards for censorship are not so strict, and where we do see some butts on just regular TV, and we see you'll see an occasional penis, you'll see titties, and it's just on standard television.
But there's a difference between nudity and what I presented, which was hardcore porn.
Hardcore porn.
Why are you typing that in?
Believe me, I've seen plenty. Okay, so are you asking if hardcore porn should be on Channel 4?
Essentially, yeah. Should PBS have the, 6 o'clock in the evening, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and 7 in the morning porn hour?
If they wanted to put it up, then yeah.
Yeah, it's their network, and I think that the viewership would change because of what they put up on their channel,
Right. I don't think they'll ever do it, though. That's the point. I mean, you can already get hardcore porn on a channel. It's just not going to be Channel 4 because they're not stupid enough to put it up there. It'll never happen. But if they wanted to, and as long as they put a warning there, I don't have a problem with it.
So you're okay as long as we present warnings?
Yeah. But I don't see it'll ever happen. Would I have would it be... I mean, it wouldn't happen on PBS. That's what I'm saying, dude. But if they wanted to, yeah. That's what I'm
maybe if they had a documentary, and it was appropriate, they could have.
They already do that, don't they? They show African tribes, women's titties all the fucking time. Nobody's got a fucking problem with that.
Yeah, but like I said,
they all look nice.
I'm not presenting this with nudity. I'm presenting this with, of course,
hardcore
porn.
Yeah, and you're not even gonna find that on like regular porn channels, like hardcore porn, dude. So I mean, that's like, a lot for a porn fucking channel, but yeah. I mean, should they be allowed to show fucking murder? I mean, like real people get murdered on PBS?
Should they?
Honestly,
now,
they put a warning, yeah.
Because the people did not give permission to show their murder on television.
Right, if the permission and everything. Well, I mean, they can do it now even without permission.
Yeah,
they have.
Yeah.
I feel as though in a public forum there has to be some sort of censorship.
Well, you're an old fuddy-duddy.
Apparently.
I don't believe in censorship at all.
Well, I just think about if I had kids, what would I want to be available to them on
you realize radio. you go to almost any other country though, and you flip through the regular TV channels, and you'll see nudity all the time.
Don't throw your fucking kid in front of the TV, and you solve that problem. And if you ever have them in front of a TV, put on parental settings.
I can get behind that.
So is it parental settings censorship?
No, that's a good question, but I don't think it is. Because you're not editing the material. Perhaps that's what I'm calling censorship.
You're blocking you're blocking material from, someone being able to access it.
Maybe I need to look up the word censorship.
Alright, well,
Spends 20 minutes talking about censorship, doesn't even know what it is.
define,
Well, okay, we're all going by general definitions, but I'll drop it down. I mean, we're talking about interpretations of censorship. I know what the fuck censorship is.
What is it then?
The practice of officially examining books, movies, etc., and suppressing unacceptable parts.
Nice Wikipedia definition.
Actually, it's my own dictionary. My Mac dictionary.
Oh, that's horrible.
You're the regular Mac Daddy.
Whoa. Whoa, did Smitty come back?
Yeah.
He sounded like a ghost.
Yeah, he's been here for a minute.
Oh.
What is your thoughts, Noah? Do you think there should be any kind of censorship on a public forum? Like public radio, public TV, stuff like that?
Oh, no. Well, on radio, I don't think so, because all you can do on radio is words. You know what I mean? So I don't think there should be any censorship whatsoever, what you can say. As far as, like, public access, I heard you guys talk about, like, porn, hardcore porn on, like, public television, like, PBS and shit. Fuck, if that's what they want to show, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's like anywhere else, you know what I'm saying? A channel's no different than a internet page, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's accessible by anyone, so.
But the thing about the internet is that you're paying for it.
Well,
Damn, I don't know what's...
if we desensitize...
Well, yeah, that's true, yeah, but whether you're paying for it or not, really, I don't know.
But that changes it for me.
Yeah, I don't...
Because if you're paying for something, do whatever the fuck you want. If it's a paid service, my thing about a paid service is...
Yeah, but you're not paying for individual pages. You're paying for just for the simple access to be able to get to millions of different news information and articles. So you're not necessarily paying just for, let's say, those certain websites that are showing porn. You're not paying for them. Those websites, they pay. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
To have a website up. So you're just paying to be able to access. It's like if you go to a club and you pay like a door charge. That's all you're just paying to get in.
We censor stuff mostly because of children, right?
No, I don't think that really that's why we censor it. Because if you live in other countries, they don't really censor. I think we censor things.
The Republicans.
The FCC.
Out of just, I don't know, man. I think religion.
Retardation. Yeah, religion.
Yeah, I think religion's probably the biggest part. Even though we're really probably the least religious country in the world.
Hold on.
We tend to.
That's a little. Look at Europe. I think they're a lot less religious.
Europe?
Yeah, you're probably right. But I'm saying you're probably right. Yeah, you're right with that because
they're be less religious.
But I'm saying let's say other countries that claim to be religious. So let's change it from just any other country. From any country that claims to be very religious, we're probably the less. Well, I can almost say with a doubt that we're the less religious of other countries and other faiths and stuff like that. So. Because we don't practice what we preach. If you look at other countries and they may... That's the way we like it, We've custom made religion in this country from what it was, 100 years ago. Fuck, it's nothing like it was, dude. They weren't laxed like they are with religion now, It wasn't, they were in your face.
In your face. In your face.
Yeah.
Let me clarify my point a little bit.
That's my point. I'm going to mute myself. I'm back here working on something.
Alright, let me clarify myself a little bit. I feel as though there should be a level of censorship on free public forums. If it's something that you pay for access to, I feel as though it should be entitled to whoever is broadcasting that content. However, if you look at something like PBS, it is funded by the government. If you look at, public forums usually are funded publicly or through taxes. And so I think those things need to have a regulation because they are free, accessibility to children, minors, things of that nature. It's the same things with like the rating system on movies, games, putting a warning label on an album. I believe those things exist for a good reason. But I'm not debating what individual things should or should not be censored. I just think there are things that should, there's a time for some things, there's a place for some things, and there's a time and place that things should not be. And on public access, I don't think, we should just be like, yeah, whatever.
Well, why not public access?
Well, what is that? What were you saying, Hess?
That wasn't me. I lost him, dude.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can now.
Your
Now
mic
you're
just
good. I
went
think your mic is
insane.
pulled in.
You people and your expensive damn mics.
I only spent, what was it, $70 on mine.
Hess, you were saying something too.
Well, I think all we need, I think it can be public access, but with passcodes for the children. That's all I think we need. Because
that's fair.
If you have to pay for it, then poor people don't get porn. That's not fair. And I'm not saying that as a joke either. I think that's that's discrimination economically.
I don't believe in censorship on the internet.
Yeah, fuck, it's the fucking internet. It's a free flow of information.
But see, with TV...
Is
and
someone
video,
eating chips?
Yeah, I'm eating a burrito.
Well, I hear some crispiness. And then I hear some...
that's just what I think. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that, you shouldn't be able to say the F word in this instance or that. I guess I'm not debating the particulars. I just think there needs to be some level of censorship that exists.
Well, yeah, words, there should be no censorship on words. What's the difference between crap and shit?
I don't know. For me, it's not the words, it's the actual content. Like, for instance, I am a Sirius XM subscriber. There are a couple of sex talk radio channels, and I have listened to them.
Whoa.
And I was like, man, that is interesting. You would never get away with these kinds of conversations on, public radio. And so much so that they're like, taking vibrators and using them on the show. And I understand it's just words, it's just noises, it's just whatever. But I'm like, it's just the content. That's the deal with me. It's not the specifics. It's just individual content, a content-to-content basis. It's the same thing like if you look at movies or video games, they have a rating on them for a reason. Like if a game is rated M, it usually has really intense violence or intense sexual scenes, something of that nature, and that's why it gets that stamp of rated M. And if a kid wants that game, if a parent buys it for him,
then it's the parent's problem.
Right, then the kid can buy it and it's his, and at that point it's on to the parents. I just don't believe that kid should be able to come in and buy the game on his own. So I feel the same way, and he can't. And I feel the same way about TV or radio, that the kid shouldn't be able to make the choice, because why would we give that kind of power to a kid to make the decision whether he's gonna, listen to or watch the porn station on his, little antenna TV? Like, I just, you know what I mean?
I can get behind that.
I'll agree with that. What about you, Sweeney? Do you agree with that, Sweeney?
I don't know.
No, he doesn't.
Alright, well, we hit the 3-hour mark. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So, in conclusion about the whole censorship thing, what's everyone's thoughts? Just final conclusion.
Gay, censorship sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not into censorship.
Okay.
I have
You
mixed
mean,
feelings.
you know, hardcore porno should not be watched by children. I mean, is it against the law for kids? I don't know if it's against the law, but I mean, they shouldn't be watching it. And I think
Well,
if there
yeah,
was some
yeah.
way, if there was some way to, if you're gonna put up, for some reason, put up hardcore porno on your public channel, that you have to put in like an adult password or something on your TV, which is possible, dude. They have it built into almost every TV where you have to put in a password. So I mean, if they wanted to put, that's all I'm saying. I don't like censorship.
Yeah, if there and I agree with you guys. If there's a barrier, if there's just some kind of barrier to keep content out of minors' hands, then I'm okay with it. As far as like, there should be no censorship to what an adult can have access to.
Yeah,
Like, don't,
and
so don't
hardcore
confuse me.
pornos like pushing it, dude. Like I don't, no networks can ever put that up.
Well, of
When I
course
talk
not.
about
It's
when I
extreme
talk about
situations.
censorship, like I'm talking about swearing, nudity. You know, I mean, I have no problem with that shit on TV. But I mean, yeah, if you're gonna completely get rid of censorship, there are people out there that's gonna push it to the limits. So I think as long as we have a proper warning on it, depending on the severity of whatever they're showing, I think there's no problem with it at all.
All right.
I can get behind that.
All right. Well, that's really the end of this podcast. I would like to thank Noah Sweeney for swinging by. You can watch him on the Stone and Monkey podcast with Weggy and Vlograys. I would like to thank James Hess to come in here to do his thing. And I would also like to thank Weggy. He has his own YouTube channel as well. And thank you, Vlograys, for coming in here and saying so few words.
Yes, thanks for everybody for letting me know about it. No one fucking told me. But yeah, all right, whatever. I'm cool.
Yeah, you'll probably be in the next one a month from now.
I'll live, I think.
So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, be prepared for the next one in about a month or so. So thanks for watching.
What do you